Collaboration amongst industry started to really begin in earnest in January of 1935. In January of 1935, there was a symposium on dust problems that took place in Pittsburgh. Now, the dust problems in general were the silica issue. These letters that were sent out inviting people to come to this symposium were targeted primarily to people in the silica industry because there was enough knowledge of the hazards and of the legal hazards to the companies that there was a market for some services. Let's talk a little bit about who's here at this particular symposium. First thing we have, the guy that opens, the first speaker of this symposium is A.C. Hirth. He's a defense attorney that defended companies in silica lawsuits. That should tell you what kind of tone that this meeting has as we open it, a silica defense lawyer telling the companies there how not to get sued. Look, what do you know? We've got Dr. Lanza again, and over here, we've got Donald Cummings again. These guys all knew each other and worked together. Now, as I mentioned, the very first speaker was Alfred Hirth, who was a silicosis defense lawyer. I have a copy of the speech that he gave, and let's see some of the things that he had to say. This meeting has been called to provide affected industries with an opportunity of discussing a common problem, which was they didn't want to get sued anymore, and of considering ways and means of solving it. I have been advised that it is a family meeting in which we may call a spade by its rightful name with the assurance that we will not be quoted in the press or elsewhere. Well, anytime somebody says they're happy to know that they're not going to be quoted, you know they're saying things they don't want the public to hear, right? Very obvious. And this is how the symposium opens. First speaker comes out and opens his speech. It's the very first paragraph. Hey guys, we're among friends. Let's talk straight about what's really going on with these lawsuits and how we can solve this problem. So then he says, disability resulting from the inhalation of any of these various dusts may result in liability on the part of the employer, the extent of which is now being demonstrated by the epidemic of silicosis cases. I'm not over-exaggerating how much these guys were terrified of these silica lawsuits. It was a big deal. The serious situation in which industry finds itself is a result of our lack of knowledge of the extent and even of the existence of the hazard and the means which should have been employed to remove it. Again, they didn't know with some of these dusts. These were I have some sympathy for them for this part alone. They didn't understand what they were getting into and what some of the problems were. This is the 1930s. Things we take for granted today haven't been invented yet. So they're still learning. And here's where I do take issue. Mr. Hirth says, I cannot feel that industry should be called upon to pay the bill. Well, why not? Industry is the one who caused this problem. People didn't just get silicosis or asbestosis of natural causes. Industry created this mess, and now they don't want to pay to clean it up.